Hi, today I'm reviewing the Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation, and today's video is brought to you by... Hi guys, this is Sarah from No BS Beauty, and I just want to remind you that I purchase all the products I review with my own money, and I'm now proud to offer these airless jars. And any support of purchase of the airless jars go to help keep the No BS Beauty channel independent. And if you're interested, there's more information in the video description box below. Thank you so much, guys. So, Becca has recently introduced a few new products based on their Skin Love concept, and they've got an elixir, they've got their new Weightless Blur Foundation, and they also have a highlighting stick or a shimmer stick. So I've reviewed the Skin Elixir, which I couldn't review very well because it was so fragrant I really was unable to use it very successfully. So hopefully thought I would have more success with their Weightless Blur Foundation, and I had some success and some disappointment. So I'm going to let you guys know my thoughts on it based on my Sarah Score scale. So my first criteria is packaging, and the Becca brand has done a nice job packaging this with a squeeze tube with a pump on the end. So it makes dispensing it very easy, which is a nice thing to have. I really actually prefer this type of packaging for almost all products. My second criteria is alcohol, and this does not contain any denatured alcohol. My third criteria is fragrance, and there is fragrance listed, which disappointingly is above some of the beneficial ingredients, so that's always kind of a bummer to see. However, the scent is really totally, almost completely unnoticeable to me, which I really appreciate, as opposed to the Skin Elixir, which was overpowering. This really didn't have much of a scent at all, so that was nice to see. My fourth criteria is manufacturing location, and this is made in the US, so no issues there. My fifth criteria is ease of use, and it's very easy to use. Actually, I ended up with two shades because this one is Buff and this one is Buttercup, and the first one I tried, which was Buff, it just looked a little too orange to me, so then I went with Buttercup, which is right in the same range. And that's what I'm wearing today, so I had a little bit more success with the Buttercup shade. But it's very easy to use. I would say this is a medium coverage foundation. It's definitely a buildable foundation. So I applied it with a beauty blender, but it smooths over skin very easily. It's a little bit buildable. You just have to wait a little bit between layers. Easiest with a beauty blender. So very easy to use. However, if you have dry skin, I highly recommend moisturizing it. And if you can use like a hydrating primer underneath it, you're going to have the best results there. So very easy to use with a beauty blender. My sixth criteria is antioxidants and pigmentation. And let me start on the pigmentation first. I would say this is medium to full coverage, but buildable. The shades, I recommend if you can go to the store, do that and try it out first, because I never was really able to find much of a successful match, in my opinion, although Buttercup, which is the shade I have on my hand right here, was a better match than Buff. But it seems to me like a lot of the shades have more of like a little bit of an orange tint to it, and the formula does oxidize a bit throughout the day, so be aware of that. I started out with one color, and at the end of the day, it definitely turned into a slight different color, so be aware of that. Then I'm going to swatch these two next to each other. But so pigmentation is okay. There's not a lot of antioxidants in here. They've added avocado oil and melon, and then vitamin C is in there, which is unfortunately after the fragrance, so there's really not much of it to speak of in the formula. You know, if it's at the end of the list, there's not much to it. So really not a whole lot of good for your skin ingredients. So, and I would have liked to see perhaps an SPF in this, but they decided not to go that way, so I get it, but I would have liked to see a sunscreen in there. So, on to number 7, which is animal testing, and Becca, despite being bought by Estee Lauder, is still cruelty-free, so that is good to see that they're still cruelty-free. Performance, like I said a second ago, it oxidizes a little bit, and you know, it gets cakey at the end of the day. And the other thing is, from far away it looks okay, but when you get close up to the mirror, you can notice a little bit more cakiness. It just, from up close, it doesn't look very natural, as opposed to other foundations, which sometimes can look a little more natural up close. This one doesn't look very natural up close. And I also had a note, if you have acne prone skin, I'd be very careful with this, because It does have a few ingredients in there that can cause some acne or breakouts, so be a little bit wary of that. It is buildable, not super natural up close. And then the other thing I found is after I applied it, and then I applied setting powder, it looked a lot better after the setting powder. So perhaps this foundation needs a little bit of finesse to it. So those are the two shades next to each other. The bottom one is Buff and the top one is Buttercup. They're pretty close, but as you can see, the Buff one is just a little bit more orange than the Buttercup. So, and then on to number 9, which is the price. And these are the full sizes. So they're 1.23 ounces, which is a little bit more than most foundations are, like 1 ounce. And it's $44. So it's moderately priced, but not ridiculously expensive, especially since a little bit of it goes a very long way. So it's not ridiculously expensive. So I gave them a little bit of credit for that. On to number 10, which is the It Factor. And I really wanted to love this, and I didn't love it. I'll probably keep it. I was thinking about passing it down. I'd try and pass down a lot of my products that I didn't like to friends or relatives and see if they like it better. But I don't know if I'll pass this one down. The real question is, would I ever reach for it in my cabinet of foundations? And to be honest, if it was any day, I don't think I'd reach for it. It doesn't really have SPF, so I can't throw it on thinking I'm getting a little bit extra SPF protection. It doesn't look super natural up close, which is a big thing. It doesn't last well throughout the day. So, you know, if there was a day I was going outside, or a day I was working out, or just a day I was going to be in meetings or something like that, I would grab different foundations based on what I was doing. And I can't think of any situation that would make me think, oh, I should go with the Becca foundation. So for me, it wasn't a good fit. So, yeah. So anyway, the reviews on Sephora are all raving about it, but I think a lot of those people got on an Influencer. They used to always put that they got it from Influencer, and now I haven't noticed that as much. But when I see a one-line review raving about it, I generally have a feeling that it's Influencer, somebody that's not very committed to makeup, or, you know, somebody that writes, oh, I love this. This is the best thing I've ever used. It's like, well, you didn't spend a lot of time. You didn't put a lot of into it. So what should I deduct from that? So if you didn't put a lot of effort into your review, it makes me think you didn't do a lot of thinking about it. So anyway, it's not necessarily true. But anyway, so I'm interested if you guys have had a chance to try this out yet or not. And if so, what your thoughts were, if you loved it or not, or if you had a different experience than I did. So leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Please do subscribe if you're not already. I come with at least one new video every day. And check out nobsbeauty.net and the Amazon link below. Thank you so much, guys.